All right. So, what are you guys doing over there?
At the today we're doing a groundbreaking on our community garden. Um, One of the components of the community hub is fresh vegetables, and we're connecting with three groups. So we'll have fresh vegetables for the entire community, Hidden Valley community. It's important that the kids inside the hotels begin to eat healthy, and they don't have a way to actually cook. And so that's the reason we are doing a commercial kitchen, so that we can show them how to cook. That's just one part of it.
Where's the commercial kitchen going to be? Over there?
Over there.
Okay.
When initially we started to put it inside the small house, but we're going to build a building, so we have a commercial kitchen inside the building, so we can do some cooking for those kids and for the community. We also have a workforce development piece. We'll reach out into 7 companies so far, because we want folk to be able to go back to work. Part of this affordable housing piece is to develop groups that can go into homes that they can afford. They can't afford them at the pace we're at because the jobs that are out here don't match up with the income needed to live in one. So we want to show them how to be homeowners. And so they'll come in and do an assessment. There's a program that Mecklenburg County has, and so we partner to bring that program to the hub, so that families can go through this process. And it'll probably take a year to 15 months
To get the entire hub going, or just this part of it?
to get the home ownership piece done.
Okay.
And then once they go through the home ownership piece, we have some banks that are saying if you can get your credit score up to a certain level, we'll help you with first-time housing. That's important. We sat down and talked with an apartment complex, and on next week we're supposed to go and sit down and talk with them and figure out how we can utilize some of those units. We have some units for veterans already available. It's just been we kind of kept it hush-hush because of the population that we're dealing with and the crisis going all over Charlotte. We want to be able to use those apartments for these folk that we're talking about. And so it just kind of, is blossoming. But that's the initial plan. Also at the community hub, there's a playground that's coming up. And the playground is geared towards the children that are inside those hotels. It's unfortunate that we have a playground up the street, the Tom Horner playground, where there's some characters that don't support the community. And we don't want our kids exposed to everything. I'll just leave it at that. Our children are important, and they already have to walk through Charlotte's #1 spot for human trafficking to get to the playground, and then they got to walk to the playground and see open market activity going on. And we don't want the kids exposed to everything. They see enough inside that corridor, so that was the purpose. And this playground is just geared towards those children. We did some outreaches with those children, and we saw kids on bikes inside the parking lots, and that's where they play. And then they go back into a small room with their parent, and sometimes it's 4 kids and a parent in a room, and there's no place to eat, there's no place to stretch your legs, and there's no place to be a kid. And so we just want to offer a safe space where they can come do all that right at the hub. So, and we want the parents to get involved, and that's the purpose of it. And so the community Hidden Valley community has a few gardens. This will be one of the next one, and we're going to connect with all the gardens that are in the community, so folk can have access to that fresh vegetable. And I want the seniors to come out, and the seniors have agreed to come out and start to build a relationship with those children, which was key, because you then put folk that have retired and are well educated and have life experience with a person that's just starting. And if you can match that back up, we can build Hidden Valley back up. And so we're going to start with that program. We're looking at a program that's in Chicago that's similar to what we're doing, but the COVID-19 happened, and it put everything on hold. But we had to break ground on the garden so that by the end of the year, whenever this thing is over with, we'll be able to bring our families in and start working together inside this community. That's what's next for us.
When are you going to start planting over there?
We'll start planting next week.
Uh-huh.
And so we have community volunteers, because of this. It kind of works out. We have groups that can't work with a lot of people, and so we'll have 1 or 2 seniors that'll take a day, and you go take a day and you start it. Another person will come behind and finish it. Another person will go back and do some weed control. So the community is pouring in, but it's safe because we don't need 50 people to come in and do gardening in that little space. But it'll be taken care of extremely well because we have people that are coming every day to check on it, to water it, to neutralize, take care of it, cultivate it, and that's how we're working it.
I'm just curious. Do you have? Is somebody bringing you plants, or
Yeah.
has somebody donating that?
Yeah, so we partner with the Bulb.
The bulb.
Mhm.
Okay.
The Bulb is a group that does fresh fruit and produce, and they started growing some seedlings. So seedlings need to go on the ground. We're kind of waiting for this piece to stop, but we don't know when the COVID crisis is going to end. We're just going to manage through it, but we know we have plants that are reaching the size where it's time to put them in the ground.
Okay.
And so we're building our beds now, and then we'll come back and plant maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday, and then we'll finish the ground on the other end Tuesday, and then that way we'll kind of have everything in the ground within the next week.
Are you guys putting compost in those beds, or are they planting in the soil that's there now?
Well,
I'm just curious.
We did a soil sample. Some of it's going into the ground because of what we're growing, and the things that are going into the beds. There's going to be a mixed compost dirt mixture, and we'll use that, and that'll come in. We'll have 32 yards to come in Tuesday, and we would love to have some help spreading it. And that's what's going to, we'll put those in the beds and begin with that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, Charles. Thanks, sir.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so this piece